What is up, guys? Wraec is here with a new video, and today we got big news on Twitter. They made a post basically about the new update that they're going to release, and some of those things in there are things we've waited for since the beginning of the game, really. I remember making actually videos about some of those things, and now we're going to get them. Starting off actually with the All Heroes event. They're going to bring the All Heroes event, and to add to this, if you want to read it yourself, it is down in the description of this video, so you can find it and read through everything again, but I will sum it up for you, of course. So the All Heroes event was a pretty special event that included a ton of heroes, every single Hypergen Celestial hero, and apparently for the release of the new countries and regions, which are the Asian regions, at the 8th August, they are going to update the hero list in here. Because if we check at the rewards, only 4 Celestial and Hypergens in here, and not even close to all S tiers. All the new ones are basically missing. Last one that was added to this was Vala. So what they're going to do is they are going to add the heroes to this that were missing, and to those that have already claimed the heroes, well, you are going to get some compensation. What that is going to look like, that is of course a question. For me, I have only 5 more in here, so I'm not sure how they're going to handle this. I mean, obviously, or probably, we're not going to get the 2 missing Celestial and Hypergen heroes, Fresto and Telene. But still, I wonder what they are going to do as compensation. I think it will be quite good. You can probably look forward to some decent loot, or to an opportunity to get all of those new heroes if you haven't started this yet or are not quite that far progressed. It is quite a good add. Then we have something very insane, actually a very nice solution in my opinion. I was complaining about this. In Dream Realm, if we check this out, the ranking rewards look like this. You get 4 temporal essence for top 10. Then it goes down to 3, 2, 1, and if you are outside of the top 100, which sadly a lot of players are, you get no temporal essence at all. The problem with that is that temporal essence is basically your way to get into the top 100, which creates this weird situation where you on the one hand don't really have access to the normal means to the temporal essence, but the people that are already in there have, so they are making better progress on their heroes than you are, which of course then again keeps you from getting into the position to actually get them. So it's an endless loop with you basically being the victim if you are outside of the top 100, and that is not that nice. And the way they are going to handle this is that outside of the top 100 you are going to receive temporal shards, I think they're called. You're not going to get temporal essence, but you're going to get shards that eventually are going to give you temporal essence. I mean, with the way the loot is designed, that it decreases every now and then or every few stages, and makes sense that you're going to get a lower tier reward. But it's also good that you are still going to be able to get temporal essence, because if we look at the hero like Odie, for example, just upgrading the weapon can make such a huge difference, can be so important. If you get to plus 10, for example, that's very, very nice. Or if you go for Merrily and you upgrade the weapon, I have plus 22 on that for whatever reason, but having an extra attack bonus there, or getting all of that, will really help you gain more damage in Dream Realm and will give you a better chance actually competing there, especially right now where the levels are so closely pushed together, so where you have like very little advantage from high resonance. I made a video about that as well. So that actually, in my opinion, might not seem like a huge deal, but in my opinion it truly is. I would have been fine if they just added 1 temporal essence to those as well. I think that should be the bare minimum that you should get, but we can see how many reward stages there actually are. It's good that they now do something about it and let everybody have some temporal essence, because otherwise your only way to actually get this regularly is through events, which isn't that nice. I don't know how they're going to tackle this. I mean, in here we have a lot of temporal essence, really only the last one doesn't have it, so the district ranking in that sense really was a blessing probably for most free-to-plays. Never really considered it that way, but now looking at it, of course. So, let's think of the major changes actually in rewards to the daily quests. If we check this out, daily quests right now, basically a quick way to just earn a few diamonds, and apparently what they want to do, they want to add more daily quests. As example, they specify recruit one time, and this is supposed to earn you extra diamond rewards, and of course extra diamond rewards, well, we're not complaining about that, so nice one, even though more of a small one, I would say, at least compared to the ones that we are going to get pretty soon. So they're going to make some update to the starter story. They're not really specifying what, so that's another thing. And for the next one, I don't know why this isn't under major optimizations. They titled the first category major optimizations, and this one is actually the first one that isn't in there, and I think it's the most major thing that we have in this update. They are going to bring an item that will let you swap exclusive equipment progress, so like my plus 22, to another hero of the same quality. So as this is an A tier, I could only swap that to an A tier, S tier to S tier, and so on. So we're going to be able to swap those equipment tiers. So no longer will there be a situation where you fully invested into Merrily and suddenly OD is OP and you're not able to make full use of OD because you lack stuff. So no fear of actually investing into a hero anymore, just invest into it, and if there is a new meta hero and you want to switch over your materials, you will now be able to do so. But not only that, and that is actually also confirmed by support, I asked them about this, you will be able to swap the tier of a hero. And I asked them, does that mean Ascension tier? And they said, yes, it does mean Ascension tier. So if I now have my OD at Paragon 1 and I decide that, well, I don't know, I have an A tier that is not Paragon 1 yet. Are you even an A tier? I want Paragon 1 Fae. I will apparently be able to do that now with this equipment. So as far as it stands right now, we will be able to have an item to swap over that Paragon 1 state from OD to Fae, for example. But you wouldn't want that, but it is an example. So we get this now, which will be very insane. I assume I will not be able to swap over Paragon 1 OD to Paragon 1 Diana. I reckon there will be some limitations on that. They didn't specify that yet. They just specified that the two heroes have to be of the same quality, so A level or S level. Didn't talk about Hypergen and Celestials yet, but I reckon they are going to limit that and probably make it impossible. So if you have in Paragon 1 Celestial Hypergen, you may swap in between, but I reckon it's not going to be possible with like a normal hero. I can't imagine that, but still that is a very good thing. We, for example, upgraded Sylvina at the moment to Paragon, so maybe if there's going to be a new hero, I wonder how they are going to tackle that. If they're going to have a rate up, and do I just have to get one hero and then I could decide to swap that over to Sylvina? As far as it stands, this resource, this item that's going to do that will be limited. They say it's going to be earned through in-game events, so we'll have to see how that looks. I made a video a while ago, and I actually remember that where I said it would be cool to have kind of an item that allows that, and it's a little bit limited maybe, where you have it like 1 or 2 of those a season, so you can't really swap around everything. It's not really about convenience, but you can fix those major mistakes, or you can fix your account to go away from one major investment to another, so to a little bit at least stay in the meta, even if you don't spend a lot on the game. So we'll see how that works out. They also really want to optimize the season experience, and I hope they do more in terms of that. The first thing that I thought was quite interesting, before we had the new season, actually the max level, max resonance level was 240, and in a way it still is. In some game modes we're still limited on 240. I think if we go not into Battle Drills, into Arcane Labyrinth, that is still the case. Yeah, 240, that is the base game season resonance cap. And the thing was that once you had that, and once you were at that point, you had to wait for the season to start, and it was like multiple weeks for some people, which was really annoying. So now once you hit 240, you will be able to enter this currently running season on new servers immediately, which is very nice actually. If you put some work into it and try to progress very fast, you will be in the season way earlier, which is pretty nice. Also, one thing I never really thought about, but it was pretty weird given that once we had the switch to the season where we went from 240 and then went into the season, you were back at level 1. And I thought, okay, I knew about this, so it didn't really feel weird to me. But imagine you don't know about this and you're suddenly back at level 1, you're like, oh, my progress is gone. And they fixed that now. They changed that. So you're now, when you enter the season, you will be at level 240, which doesn't change anything really. I mean, doesn't make you stronger in the season. They will just adjust the difficulty of the enemies. So it will be the same experience at the start of the season. But the difference really is that you don't start from the beginning. You don't have that feeling of starting from the beginning. You take your 240 levels into the season and will be back at it. And of course, that also at the same time where we talk about this, those seasonal levels that we have right here, those 840 seasonal levels, those are going to be reset. So that was announced way before the season already. There are temporal progression mechanics like season level that are not going to be taken with us into the next season. So this season level we have right now will be reset. So after the season we will be back at level 240 and they are going to reward us with some loot. And I think that's okay. We're going to have to see how they actually do that. We saw some things already. I'm a bit afraid they do it in form of a leaderboard. I hope they don't really do that, because we had some leaderboards already, something like this, for example, where you can see the leaderboards, and I hope they don't really go for that, because it would be kind of weird, in my opinion, to do that, where they have like the first 3 people getting something and not having really announced that. It would create quite a weird dynamic, because nobody really competed for the loot. The people competed just for the sake of it. So I would rather have them just reward everybody depending on the progress. So and announce it a little bit earlier, please. So like, if I would really be a bit annoyed. I slacked off a little bit on Durastral, didn't really do too much there because I don't need anything from there anymore. But I would be rather annoyed if they say like, oh yeah, if you cleared 6 Durastral 25, you get X amount of loot. Yeah, that would be rather annoying. At least if they announce it on a very short notice. If they announce it now, okay, I'm fine. I will go and clear everything. But if they announce it on short notice, I would be annoyed by that. I would be really annoyed by that. So we'll have to see about that. Next season optimization they want to minimize the resonance level gap in the first weeks of the season. And I really dig that. I like that, because the thing was, there could be some really huge gaps in power between the players that played very, very actively at the start of the season and the players that, well, didn't. You had to be really up to date with all of your story, with everything that was unlocked, and there were like those day gaps. You had to, like, for example, Durastral is like there's an example that I can show right now. Because in Durastral, can I show it even? Details? Doesn't appear anymore. But there were like day unlocks on every single one of those. So there was a requirement that it was season day 12, for example, to unlock this. And they did this for some other stuff too. They did it for all of the areas. So if we check out the areas, no, not that. Where's my button? They did that for the areas as well. So I remember vividly standing in front of like an hypergene here at every single area and every single border to the next area and waiting for some day requirement to pass for me to progress further. And you really had to be at that point. If you try to go like into Dream Realm without doing that, you would be way behind, because every single enemy on the map defeated actually granted you some materials to progress, which meant that actually the seasonal progression rewarded you more towards gaining resonance level at the beginning than the AFK progress itself. So a very active player had a very big difference to you. If you just slacked off on one day, you would fall like 50 slots or 100 slots in Dream Realm. So that really forced you to stay at it. And I felt like it was a little bit weird, because I remember one day where I just didn't have time and suddenly I was placed 150 or something in Dream Realm. I thought it was crazy, because there weren't even 150 people remotely close in power to me and remotely close in like hero power or hero ascension state. That I thought was a very weird one. So if they now saw that problem, address it a little bit. And I mean, it's an AFK game after all, so you should be able to at least take it easy and not be forced to progress the story ever it appears. So in that sense, maybe we'll have to see how that works out. On the other hand, I mean, activeness can also be rewarded. So if you took the time out of your day to kind of progress the story, I don't feel it's too bad if you are ahead. Just shouldn't be so impactful. Like, one day without playing, or no, not without playing even, but with playing but not progressing the story entirely and for 150 places behind. Bit insane, I think. Bit insane. Still, about the season settlement, I saw already talked about the resetting, the materials, the level. They didn't really talk about that too much. The only thing that they said in here was like the charms will be reset. I mean, the charm mechanic is a seasonal one, so this one will be reset, which I still think is like, okay. I like this seasonal aspect, actually, and I didn't really talk about it yet. Maybe I will make another video, but maybe on the short notice, or on a short note. The season mechanic actually makes it possible for you to just not play this game for a while, which is very, very uncommon for an AFK game in that sense. Even, I mean, what happens? For example, right now, if you quit right now and say, okay, I will come back for the next season, I'll not play the game for a month. Of course, your daily rewards wouldn't be there. You would maybe lose out on guild progress. That would be a little bit of a problem, of course. But the thing is, your AFK progress and the AFK loot doesn't really matter too much in the long term, because it gets reset anyway. So you can start off fresh next season. You might have missed a few raid ups, okay, you will have to compensate through that through the Mystical House. But really, in terms of raid ups, maybe we should add, it's kind of lagging today. This one is going to last for 12 more days, so there's going to be one more afterwards, and that's about it, at least for this year. I'm not sure if we get another Stargaze hero this season. I don't think so. I think it was 2 per season, so probably not. That being said, like, it's an interesting feature, and I think it will be quite interesting to see if people were aware of that being the case and come back next season to start again, because there is enough opportunity to do so in this game. Beyond that, they are also providing some new season highlights. We don't know much about the new season yet. If we check out the old season right now, I was super impressed by the size of this area. The size of this area was quite insane. So to me, that was one of the major things. One thing they picked up, and I think is pretty cool, we had 2 game modes that were a bit neglected this season. One was Arcane Labyrinth, which I didn't understand really, and the other one was Honor Duel. Arcane Labyrinth was one where people really said, okay, no idea why that wasn't a seasonal game mode or had seasonal stages, because we're stuck at level 240 here. They did this weird thing of taking this game mode and still putting it at some point of rewards. If we check out Guild, for example, there are still challenges for Arcane Labyrinth in here. Daily quest, we have then there completed ones, we can check. Arcane Labyrinth, very weird. It is not a seasonal game mode, it should not be important right now. If we have it as a seasonal game mode, then it should be important, but I don't know why they have Honor Duel and Arcane Labyrinth in there. For the next season, those are going to get upgraded, and those are going to be important. There will be a fishing mode. No idea how that's going to look, but okay. I take every new game mode with delight. And they want to upgrade guilds. Guilds have multiple problems, like one specific one that I can point out right now at this reason. If we check out Battle Drills, which is live right now, that's another story. I always think it's very hard to actually see who's doing something. I'm the guild leader of this guild, and still, like, I can click on this and, okay, yeah, we have some rewards in there, some ranking, but those are the guild rankings, those don't really help me. And I have no way of actually seeing, like, okay, how often has player X attacked, how often has player Y attacked, and this of course takes away from me the opportunity to actually private message those guys and tell them, hey, please don't forget about battle drills. Or to, if some player is inactive for a long time, make the decision to maybe let this player go and let another player join the guild. That and we have people that want to join the guild, but really in this game mode I can't really see that, and that is a bit annoying, I have to say. Bit annoying. Maybe they will add that, or would be kind of cool. Cosmetics they're also going to add. I did never understand that. Like, cosmetics, the good thing is they are rewards for playing the game. We can, for example, this is like the Dream Realm suit. I put that on because I wanted to make a video about Dream Realm. This is from the beta. So pretty cool. We have multiple things here. They introduced it as rewards, but the thing that I didn't understand, they put it in the trolley, and there is like a cosmetics tab here, and it barely includes anything really. There's one hero skin, there is one moonlit set, and that's about it. I thought they would make quite the dime on that. I thought maybe because, well, they have this in AFK Arena, they have those corporations with like anime and manga and everything. I thought we would get anime and manga cosmetics, like an opportunity to look like Einzelgone or something like that. So I thought they would make some serious money there. like a Witcher set or something. There's all opportunities and never really used. No idea if they're going to use them now, but they are going to make us give us more opportunities to actually engage with cosmetics. So pretty nice. That is not really clear. The next one is like, there will be some faction-based mechanics in the upcoming season. It kind of feels like they as themselves are not sure how they're going to do. It's like they want to give 1 or 2 heroes in your team greatly boost abilities, or new abilities that will greatly boost their strength. I'm not sure if they are sure how they are going to design that. The entire thing feels a little bit, yeah, okay. And it will be available in specific guild modes like Legend Trial, and not in Dream Realm. So, don't know about that. I think if you have the ability to give heroes more power, then like boss fight modes seem like the perfect opportunity to do so. Because like, it is interesting. More ways to diversify your team and your setup are surely interesting, especially in a time where I can click and copy everything. By the way, nice damage by Mega Fungi here. Pretty good. Especially in such a time, I think it's way more important that we have layers of diversity in there, because just copying everything seems a little bit boring. We have a little bit in form of charms right now, where we can do some other stuff and actually equip charms that have a better advantage. Like in this example, I have charms that are not recommended equipped, but those are actually quite good. I'm going to make a video about that as well. And I think if they have more of those mechanics, that is quite interesting. Beyond that, they don't really specify more for the next season. They just said, okay, it's less grinding, preset formation, and dueling between friends. All of those things that I like. Dueling between friends will be one of the top features. I know that from a game called Idle Heroes, we can duel friends. Right now, there is not really the option to do so. In Idle Heroes, the way it works is you set a defensive team for your friend list. So it's not really a team that really defends any points or something, but it's just a team that you have in your friend list. It's set as your defensive team, and you can click on a player, and then you have the option to attack, and you can attack the defensive team, and you already also see it in there. You fight it, and you see if you win. And it's quite interesting and very nice to actually test stuff, because you can also just take your buddy, let him set a specific team, and see if your team works against it. It's also good to test one specific hero, because you can kind of set specific situations with that. Maybe a hero is good when the enemy has a lot of summons on the battlefield. Maybe that is important. So all of this is something you can do. Preset formations, we in a way have that a little bit. The way this works in other games that I know is when you go in here, they could, for example, design it in a way that you have like a few buttons here and you can set a specific team behind those buttons. So I could make this team one specific team, and then the next one is maybe a team with Presto, and once you click the button, this is instantly set and is put on the board, and you don't have to change it up between, because like if you fight AFK stages, we could try to fight this, but this AFK stage actually destroys me with this team, sadly. So we have to use another team to win. The thing is, you don't often switch between too many teams. It's like you use 1, 2, 3 teams maybe, and that's about it. And other than that, it's maybe slight adjustments within those teams. So it's really helpful to have like this preset, because you want to use a team like this, obviously, if you just want to have an easy time progressing against non-high deficit enemies. And if you're fighting, get into high deficit or a difficult stage like this, you switch to something smoky. At the moment, at least. So that is the thing. We'll have to see how that continues. Also, one thing that many people complained about, we had the complaint in regards to Ulmus, we had the complaint in regards to Sorin. There was A-tier recruitments, A-tier rate ups, and they were talking a little bit about this as well. One thing, they said 2 arguments that A-tier rate ups are a thing in this game. The first one was that it's just a way to make it easier to gain the hero in rate up. And the other one is that there is no significant power gap between A tiers and S tiers. I think it's not too much of a good argument. The thing is, saying that rate up is a way to more easily acquire the hero, of course that is true. But this also goes into the different direction. It is also way easier for me to acquire A tiers outside of the rate up. So like if I go into the Emporium and I decide to go to the Dream Store, there are my A tiers, so I can just buy those, which is not the case for the newer heroes, by the way. I don't know why they don't add them to this. Should definitely do that. But but I can quite easily get them here. So there are a lot of A tiers that I would easily get from the store, and beyond that I can easily get them from summons as well. So in that regard, I'm not sure. Specifically, the Dream Realm store argument is something that makes it easier to get A tiers. So if they are easier to gain outside of the raid up than S tiers, well then the same should go for the raid up. They should be easier to get in the raid up than S tiers. Then again, if they don't add them to the Dream Store, of course, for the new heroes, that is really not the case. They are then pretty much as difficult to get as S tiers in there, because, well, you have, of course, an easy time clicking the button here and summoning, well, let's continue, and summoning yourself a few A tiers, because this is going to actually be guaranteed to give you at least one A tier. You still need 8 of them. So, yeah, it's a bit of a problem there. So it still takes a long time. Can do another summon, by the way. Yeah, and that's about it really for this update. They say we're going to get... Well, unless you get 5 A tiers, of course, then it's quite easy. We're going to get more updates, more info on all of the seasonal stuff in a bit, and I will, of course, keep you updated on it with your opinion. Tell me everything you want to talk about down in the comments. Tell me your opinion on the update. Last video we got quite the discussion going there, which I really loved. It was about the resonance level and the importance of it. If you haven't watched that yet, please do so. And with that, I wish you a great day, and we'll see us in the next one.